don't have harsh opinions of Joy Taylor. She's not someone that I didn't get along with. I basically, for the most part, just kept my distance from Joy Taylor. And I kept my distance, not because I didn't like her, it's just because I knew myself. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble. And so that's what I did. I kept my distance.
Peanut butter skin and a big rack is a dangerous combination. But listen, if there's one thing you need to know, gentlemen, you need to know your strengths as well as your weaknesses. And if you know that you are going to be tempted into doing something that you might regret later, then props to you for removing yourself from that situation.
Because when you put some woman in a job, talking sports with a bunch of men, it's a job she's not qualified for. She's talking sports with professional athletes, people that did it at the highest level. She's talking sports with me or Colin Cowherd or other people that have really studied sports at a super high level. What does she have to offer other than her sex appeal? And so should we be surprised that she leaned into that? No, they put her in that position where it's the only thing she had to offer. And so she offered it up and got what she wanted. Let's think this through. As if you go into the lawsuit and the things that Nusheen says and the way she says things played out, Joy Taylor was some sort of fill-in talk show host down in Miami who, people in Miami kind of knew who she was. I think she may have had some association with Dan Le Batard or whatever, but she hadn't taken Miami by storm as a radio talk show host. She was a little extra. Attractive girl, Jason Taylor's sister. Hey, let's put her on radio. But she hadn't really done anything. But somehow she's qualified to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show between Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was an accomplished sports journalist for a time, and a Hall of Fame football player in Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe reached the top of the sports industry. Skip Bayless reached the top of the sports media industry. And Joy Taylor had done some radio work down in Miami.
Listen, what he's talking about here isn't really new, especially when it comes to the entertainment business. They want a pretty face that they can show off on TV so they can get more viewers. You think Vanna White got her position because of her great letter turning skills? Pretty women get advantages, and this is just one of them.
What does she have to offer? So how does she get that job? How does she even get that opportunity? Because she's got a big pair of cans, and she's, according to Sheen, she's willing to let people enjoy those big cans of hers. That's how we got here. And it's not Joy Taylor's fault. And I want to go through and I'm trying not to disparage Joy Taylor, but the facts are the facts. I can remember.
You're not doing
I'm
very
at Fox
well.
Sports at the time. And I ran into some friction because I didn't want a woman on a show that I was doing at Fox Sports. And so this is in 2015-16 at the very beginning. And I can remember they brought Joy Taylor in for a test on the show that I was doing. Yeah, this is at the time when I was going to be initially doing my own show and Cowherd was doing something else. And just keeping it all the way real, Charlie Dixon wanted her to be involved with my show. And so we brought her in for a test. And I didn't think the test went well.
So in case you guys didn't read the lawsuit, Charlie Dixon is the vice president over there at FS1, and he's the guy that Joy Taylor is accused of having an affair with in order to work her way to the top. And listen, I want to make it clear. Not every pretty woman with a high position got there by sleeping their way to the top. But if you think that her looks had nothing to do with her getting there, you're out your damn mind. Pretty privilege is a thing. They've done studies on this that showed attractive people are more likely to get hired for jobs. They're more likely to do better in sales. They're even more likely to have higher salaries. I can even remember this one girl had told me, and she looked pretty good, that she would convince the smartest guy in the class to give her free tutor lessons so she can get through her classes. Looks can get you a long way.
And I let everybody know, hey, I don't think this test went well. I don't want, this isn't the direction I wanted to go. I was trying to play nice and trying to meet them halfway in terms of okay, you guys are insisting on a woman being on this show because that's what everybody wants. And I was like, well, you need to bring a grown-ass woman on the show if it's going to be with me. It can't be at this time. This is 10 years ago. Joy Taylor's probably 25, 26 years old. You talking about, I mean, I got a lot of discipline, but 25-year-old with them big cans and that peanut butter skin who has nothing to say, at some point I'm going to lose respect. And I'm like, well, the only thing she's got to offer is them big cans and that peanut butter skin. And so if I got to put up with this, I might as well enjoy them big cans. And so.
Yo, this man is a menace. He said, I might as well enjoy them big cans. That is diabolical. Like, just imagine showing up to work like, coffee? Don't mind if I do. Donuts? Don't mind if I do. Joy Taylor? Don't mind if I do. And listen, I appreciate his honesty, but there's such a thing as too much honesty. He's talking about Joy like she's hors d'oeuvres, like they're offering her up on a platter. Goodness gracious.
I said no. I don't want to put myself in that position. And so I can remember I brought in Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie Bernstein's around my age, a few years younger perhaps. But I was like, she's been around the block. She actually has been involved in sports media for a long time. She might have something of substance to offer. And the test we did with Bonnie Bernstein went much better. And I was like, if we're going to go, they were adamant, no Bonnie Bernstein. When I look back in retrospect, when I say they, I'm talking about Jamie Horowitz. And I don't know if I heard from Charlie Dixon on this, but I certainly heard from Jamie Horowitz. They were adamant, no Bonnie Bernstein. And when I look back in retrospect, I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm just keeping it real. This show is called Fearless. I got to tell you the truth so you can understand these things. When I look back in retrospect, they were like, Bonnie Bernstein, she was 20 years ago. You know, we've had our way with Bonnie Bernstein. We want something fresh and new. And so Bonnie Bernstein, a woman that's pushing 45, 50 at that time, no value, no interest. No one's sexually attracted enough to Bonnie Bernstein at that time to give her the job. And so we didn't do that. I kept holding firm. Next thing you know, me and Cowherd are doing the show together, and Jason McIntyre is going to be our sidekick. And that was a better landing for me than doing the show with a woman. I need, put me in a guy environment, guys talking, that's natural. That's what I thought had the most value.
Here's the thing I don't understand about modern television. There's almost no spaces that are exclusive to men now. But you'll see tons of spaces that are exclusively for women. But when we do have spaces that are only a bunch of men, oh, that's toxic. We need a female perspective. No, the hell we don't. Not when it comes to sports. It was perfectly fine not having women on sports shows. And I'm not saying that women can't do the job. You got great sports analysts like Mina Kimes, Jamel Hill. These are women who you can tell that they really enjoy the game and they know what they're talking about. But then you got these clowns like Molly Karam, Malika Andrews, Joy Taylor. These are just pretty women who can read off a teleprompter. But for some reason, we have these producers that insist that we have female perspective on sports that are played predominantly by men. I don't know if it's DEI or the woke mob, but it makes no sense.
Down the road at Fox Sports, Christine Leahy, when Cowherd left the show, Christine Leahy wanted to replace Colin Cowherd. I wasn't for that. I considered it because I like Christine Leahy, and what I wanted in that next position, replacing Cowherd, was someone that was in a much more junior position to me than Colin Cowherd. And so, but Christine Leahy had no interest in that and told me flat out she wanted to do a 50-50 show. And I told Christine Leahy, who I liked, but I told her flat out, I was like, Christine, I can't do a 50-50 show with you. You don't know 50% of what I know. You don't know 20% of what I know. You're a child, an attractive one, but you're just a child. And so I can't do a show that's 50-50 with you. There's some things I could teach you in the junior position, but I would consider it, but 50-50, that's insanity. And that's how I ended up moving to Marcellus Wiley. I could do, in my view, this is just me keeping it real, I could do a 55-45 show with Marcellus Wiley. Guy, played sports at the highest level, very good personality, experience. And so that's how we ended up with me and Marcellus and Speak for Yourself. I'm going to continue because I want to be crystal clear here. I like Charlie Dixon, the executive that allegedly was sleeping with Joy Taylor, and that's how she got her position, according to Sheen in this lawsuit. Just in the interest of transparency and just me keeping it real, when I was at Fox Sports, I don't know if this is factual, but I know what everybody thought. Everybody, these stories that Sheen's talking about in this lawsuit, they were widespread and prevalent in 2016. Everybody across Fox Sports.
The craziest thing about this situation is Joy Taylor was recently married when all of this was going on. And I do believe that Charlie Dixon was married as well. Why people would risk their marriage and their job in one single action is beyond me.
Everybody across Fox Sports thought and gossiped about Joy Taylor and Charlie Dixon. Again, I heard the same talk as everyone else. My name was Bennett. I wasn't in it. But I do know that the women, and I'm going to leave a name out of this. I'm going to leave names out of this. But what's alleged in this lawsuit about Joy Taylor and her sleeping with Charlie Dixon and her telling Nusheen and others that she will control Charlie Dixon and that she will say that he sexually harassed her if he ever gets out of line, that was a common play. That was a common tactic by women in sports media. What Joy Taylor was, she's more transparent in talking about it than perhaps she should have been, but that was a very common practice. I had a very attractive, big-breasted woman that wanted to work at Fox Sports and wanted to, another one, I'm not talking about Christine, but another one that wanted to be on Speak for Yourself, and she would ask me out to dinner about once a month and just let me know that in subtle and not so subtle ways, hey, you put me on Speak for Yourself, and these jugs and me could be your little plaything. And I value my independence. I value my ability to say what I think. I didn't want to give anybody leverage over me. And this, I've told you guys previous stories about executives asking me, hey, who on the network would you most like to sleep with? And my thoughts always were, particularly at that time out in Los Angeles, when I was out there from 2010 to 2020, I'm just like, I'm on TV, I make enough money, and there's enough women out here just giving it away, attractive women just giving it away. I don't need to be doing anything here on the job that could potentially undermine me. I didn't want to be in anybody's potential lawsuit. I didn't want Nusheen or anybody, not that I think Nusheen's a bad person, but I didn't want anybody having a lawsuit where they're talking about me.
Ignoring the fact that quid pro quo relationships are not only ethically wrong, but morally wrong, it's just not a good idea. A lot of these guys think that they're in a position of power because they hold a higher position. But now, especially after the Me Too era, society will look at a consensual relationship and say that you coerced this woman into this situation. Now you're being sued. Now you lost your job. Now your reputation is ruined. Especially with these celebrities, there are so many women that they can mess with outside of work. Why take the risk? In 2025, I'd rather work in an environment that's nothing but men rather than a mixed environment, because there's just too many things that can go wrong. Now, if I have to talk to a woman in an office, I make sure that door is open, or I make sure there's a third person there, because I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea that there's something going on. And if she does lie on me, at least I'll have a witness to say that's not how it went down. Because if it's my word versus her word, it's not going to go down too well. Fellas, let me tell you, be careful with these women, because they will come onto you and make you feel like it's a mutual beneficial thing and it's completely consensual. She'll make you believe that you wanted this just as bad as she did. But the scary thing about this is all the women have to do is regret the situation, and they can go back in time and say, you know what? I felt uncomfortable. I didn't really want that to happen. Next thing you know, you're fired. You're getting sued. Everyone thinks you're a scumbag. Be very careful. Be very diligent. For God's sake, do not mess with any woman that you work with. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what points you agreed with, what points you disagreed with. Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.